Hello, I'm Tony Bannon. I was a journalist for the Buffalo News. I was the art critic, and in that lifetime, I had a nice relationship with Gene Davis, which I'd love to share with you. Then through the years, I was director at the Burchfield Penney Art Center, and then I went to George Eastman House for a long time, and now I'm back at Burchfield Penney Art Center, where we hold the archives of the brilliant things that Gene Davis did, and now we're totally behind Artpark's desire to restore that piece. I'd love to share some strange experiences. I had been an artist in residence. I was a filmmaker in addition to writing for the news, so I made films a couple years before Gene showed up, and then I was writing about Gene, and I treasure the opportunity to see in the parking lot a guy dressed like a banker, taking it easy. He had his tie off, but he had white shirts and business slacks, and he was out there with a huge brush, brushing in the lines of color that he compared to jazz. That is the alignment of the hues against one another and their direction over a long time together, down a huge parking lot that constituted the largest artwork in the world. It was, as I remember, 43,000 square feet, give or take. Probably a tad more than 43,000, but anyway, the largest in the world. And love to talk about that sense of the artwork working hues in relationship to one another as if it were a jazz symphony at that size. I mean, it's got to be a symphony, right? So we also talked about journalists. I mean, Gene Davis, born 1920, I looked this part up, born in 1920, and in the beginning worked as a journalist, a sports writer. We talked about that because it was an occupation we loved and shared. And he went on to write from the White House. He played poker with Harry Truman. I remember he loved to tell that story. And he was not just a one-off poker game. No, he was invited back to the poker game that Harry Truman held. And then he went to work as an editor for the American Automobile Association, AAA. Then, as late as 1968, I think that's the year that he made the break to wholly work as an artist. He had worked as an artist and a writer prior to that. And then the residency at Artpark shortly before his death in 1985 really was a huge groundswell to his career. I had done awesome things before elsewhere, much in the same sensibility, but Artpark was a magnum opus, and it was just a delight to have been with him and to share funky stories about the life in journalism and in art, and how the two constituted word and image, a lovely dance that could only be held within the domain of jazz, visual jazz. I remember like it was yesterday because it's one of the touchstones for my own work as a writer and a museum guy is that we're after in art, and what makes it so interesting is that we're not looking for a repeat of the same old. No, we're looking for situations that pull the rug out from under. And Gene's words about that were, if memory's correct, that he wanted his own work to be outrageous and renegade and impossible, something you'd never seen before, a proposition that would be so incongruous that you would stand up and notice. Well, how wonderful that he, Gene Davis, comes from that point of view, and now Artpark repeating in the spirit of Gene Davis says, we're going to try the impossible. I mean, we're going to build this again according to the layout, the color palette, in its right place, just as Gene Davis accomplished once again. It's outrageous. It's impossible. But I think we can make it and make the impossible something that we recognize and champion and want to stand behind. Love the project that Artpark is undertaking, and I'll be a donor. You can count on that. Hope you'll join us too. Thank you.